I just can't stand for the kids not fucking getting as much out of this fucking life as they possibly can, and it drives me fucking crazy.
Well, the question is, you know, when it comes to when is exposure, because you're a PR person, when is it worth it to do something for exposure, and when is it, when are you being taken advantage of? How is an artist to tell kind of what opportunities, are there certain things to look for in an opportunity where the exposure is really going to be worth you doing the labor, say when you're approached to do something that doesn't pay?
Exactly. So it's your return on investment. So that could be a few different things. So your return could be financial. First and foremost, that's what we want. We want to get paid for what we do. Get paid. And even if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to fly you here and I want to do this, that, we can't pay you, but we'll pay for this and that and the other thing. And you're like, I'm going to lose money on that. Do not lose money on gigs. Like, so, and an example that I'm giving is, so somebody wanted to fly me to Vegas to do a show. It was a big show and there were some major headliners on it. And they just wanted to give me money for a plane ticket. And at first, of course, my instinct is always like, great! Like, I always want to do everything, right? Because I'm like, I want to be there and these are amazing headliners and okay, great. And then I was like, but let me do the math. Let me slow down. Let me get my feelings out of this. Let me get over into the facts of it. So the facts were, in order for me just to get to and from the airport, it's $50 each way. That's there and back. That's $200.
Okay.
Baseline. That is not eating. That is not, you lose a cord charger for your phone. That is not anything, right? So I was like, I'm gonna need more money. And then I was like, what if I just completely break even? I get to do this show. Now, some of the return on investment was performing with these major headliners. And I get to hang out with them. I get photos with them. I get to be in their face. They get to see me perform. They get to see me fucking crush. That to me felt like, okay, great. That actually felt good if I didn't lose money on the gig. So I said, I'm going to need $300 just to pay for Ubers and food when I was there, because they were paying for hotel and air. And they were like, at first they were told, like, she was like, let me ask. And then literally 15 minutes later, she was like, yeah, that's fine. Just one little fucking push on the membrane of no.
Right.
And they came up with this fucking $300. And I was like, bitch. And now that is like essentially like my fucking MO. You want me to do something and you say there's no pay, I go, I'm super sorry, I've got to say no. Or I say no with a number. You can watch Maria Bamford's
That's Jackie Kashian's dad thing.
Yeah,
Never say no without a number.
Yes, exactly.
She taught me that when I was still just a porno actress. No, I had her on my podcast. I love her so much.
Oh my God, no,
she retweets me and this stuff all the time, like about porn stuff, and I'm like, I love her.
No, she's a goddamn gem. She's fucking salt of the earth, that fucking
I
Jackie
retweeted
Kashian.
my Pornhub profile page once, and she retweeted it. She's like, if you like porn, go click on this one. That is a real gem right there.
That is fucking amazing.
A lot of people say they're like sex positive, they're open-minded, or they support the dolls, they live for the dolls,
right.
They like porn girls.
Right.
But that woman retweeted porn links and said, go watch this porn. That Jackie Kashian.
Yeah, we love. Huge fan.
Thank you.
And so now Maria Bamford does a whole, she was brought to her school that she graduated from to speak to the graduating class, and you can go to mariabamford.com. It's on her speaking link, and you can go and watch the video about how she navigated it. Because they came to her and they said, come speak at our school. She said, how much are you paying? And they go, nothing.
It's an honor.
Right. And she was like, that's weird. The school that taught me how to do what I fucking need to do, and you don't want to fucking pay me to fucking do it, I'm going to say no. And then she said, okay, I'll do it for $20,000.
Right.
Then they came back with, I believe, another number. I think it was either 10 or 15.
I think it was 10.
Yeah, and then after the manager and everything took taxes out, she made $5,000 off of it, and she gave the money away.
Right.
And it was a fucking amazing thing to watch. Anyway, so the moral of the story is, do not lose money on a gig. So number one is get paid. Even if they say no, do you say, do the math? How much do you need to eat? How much does your fucking hotel, and then like a little extra for incidentals? On that trip, I lost the cord for my phone. I got to stay in contact with my family. That was fucking $25. I didn't fucking know I was going to fucking spend. Food, transportation, incidentals, Boom, just get the basics. I said $300, 15 minutes later, no problem. I was being Venmo'd $300. Ta-da.
Right. So
then the next in line is there's no money. They go, we're doing this thing, it's a charity, it's a what have you, or whatever it is that they fucking are veiling their fucking not wanting to pay you in, that's fine. Then my next thing is, what are you going to get out of it, right? So everyone's like, it's exposure, but I'm like, I don't know, I've done a lot of fucking pretty bitchin' shit, and it hasn't, like, I don't have fucking hundreds of thousands of followers. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not, nothing's ever shot me out of a fucking rocket, you know? So then the next thing is, for me, as a comedian, it's content. How can I get a beautifully shot, whatever of my comedy, right? So I did Laugh After Dark. It was not a big payday. I made SAG hourly, whatever. It was just a couple days worth of shooting or 1 day worth of shooting. I didn't make a ton of money, but I knew that I was going to get a gorgeously shot 10-minute clip. Right. And I, for me, I had just shot my comedy special, so I didn't have 10 minutes. I only had 7. But from that, I got this beautiful tape, and now I have this, and that I didn't have to pay for, that I got paid just a little bit for, right? So beautiful. Right. So now when I submit to anything, the response that I've seen from the original tape that I'd used, which was just like flappers, whatever, bullshit in the Yoo-Hoo room. I didn't have tape, right? And now with this, festivals, you know, blah, 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 opportunities, whatever, like people are way more excited to fucking book me and to share my stuff and what have you, because I have this amazing tape. So, return on investment. Then the other thing can be, how is the exposure also going to help you if it does mean that you're going to be in front of so many people that you do feel like it actually will drop down into them actually following you, which is rare. Also, too, you have to ask the people that are promoting it, how are they going to promote you? So if I Laugh After Dark puts me in their feed. They put me in their fucking stories with links to my name. A lot of times when people come to me and they're like, oh, we're going to give you exposure. And I'm like, are you actually going to put me in your fucking feed? Or are you just going to make a flyer that doesn't have my face on it? There's no links to my name. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so how can you have those hard conversations on the front end to actually get what you want and what you need? And I also do feel like as performers, we do need to stick together to ask for money. Okay. Ask for fucking money. And even if they say no, I don't know. I just feel like everybody is so fucking desperate that they're willing to, we're all just scabs. Like everybody's just scabbing. Like no one's saying like, no, I need to get paid for this. Which is, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like nobody uses the thing to fucking help themselves out. Like, I've seen people do stuff, and I'm like, is there a link to that anywhere? Is it on your website? Are you leveraging it for anything? Like, or did you just do this thing that just is, like, out in the ether? You spent a full day doing it. You didn't earn any money that day. This is why everyone's broke and living in their fucking car.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because I was doing this documentary. I can't say for who or for where yet because they haven't announced it, but it wasn't paid, and it's one of the most popular shows on their platform, so it's gonna have this huge viewership. Right. And so it's going to drive traffic to my OnlyFans. Right. But the thing is, I noticed on set, I was one of the only people asking, when is it coming out?
Hello!
When can I tweet about it? What can I tweet about it? Like, I want to know the day that I can tweet out, because it's a huge fucking network. Yes. Like, I want to know the day I can put my name next to that handle and say I'm in their most popular program. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know exactly when, who's my point man to tell me when that's happening. And then I even do stuff where I did, you know, on porn shoots, a lot of times they'll want to do extra stuff like BTS and things like that. And it's kind of standard that you don't really get paid for it because it's like the idea is they're paying for your day. But what I do is I was doing some BTS and they did an interview and I was just like killing it. I was just doing comedy.
Yeah, you're just
I was fucking killing it. You know what I mean? Like I really, because they were just interviewing me like basic stuff and I was like, well, you know, like in porn we test for everything but IQ. And then like I was going into all these jokes and then I was doing the interview in different accents. I was doing an Irish accent, an English accent, and then I was doing a Southern accent, and I was like all this stuff. And then afterwards, I was like, I need the point man, I need the editor and the producer, because I need to know the minute you guys put that on YouTube, because that's going on my webpage.
Of course.
Because I fucking killed it. And they're like, oh, yeah, because like no one ever asks.
So when people come to work with me all the time at my company, like I just had a comedian the other day. He's been on Marvels, the Marvels whatever TV show. He was on American Horror Story. He was on this other show, and I was like, why is this the first time I've been on every single one of your platforms and accounts? How come none of this is featured anywhere? And he was like, oh, well, I do comedy. That's kind of like an acting credit. And I'm like, you want to show people that somebody else thinks, get in this line.
Okay.
That somebody else thinks you're good at something, which means when you have a major company, major production company, major TV show sign off on you, that says to another person, oh, this person is capable and talented enough to be on whatever platform, whatever TV show. Because what everybody's trying to do is they're trying to weed out the Lulus. They're trying to weed out people that are unprofessional. They're trying to weed out people that aren't fucking talented. That's why we use credits. That's why when they bring you to the stage, they say your credits. The audience listens in a different way when they go, coming to the stage, she's open for Mark Maron. She's got a comedy special. She's got a blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, it's me. Like, they listen in a very different way than if like she performs all over town. But that's everybody. Everybody fucking performs all over fucking town.
How do you tell if it's gonna be good exposure for you?
I actually
like, what are things you can look for? Like if someone's like,
okay,
it's for exposure. So let's say I go to the website or the channel or the magazine or the YouTube show. What are ways I can tell that something is going to be like good exposure? So, because there's things that I've never heard of, and just because I haven't heard of them doesn't mean that they don't have a huge audience.
Oh my God, right? All the fucking time. I'm being introduced to people that I'm like, I've never heard of them. I go to their page, I got 50,000 fucking followers.
So it's like, so
they've
what are
been
ways
on fucking
that I
late
can...
night, and I'm like, oh God, oh great, okay, cool. So I usually just go through and I audit all of their accounts. I go through and do they post regularly? How do they post about the people who are on their show or what have you? Then I look at their numbers. Now, numbers can be a little deceiving because sometimes, even if they don't have a huge followership because they're new, but you can see by the way that they post and their engagement that they're hungry. I would much rather be on somebody's fucking show that's hungry and is gonna fucking partner me in promoting this than some fucking big ass fucking company who doesn't give a fuck about me and is never even gonna put me in their fucking feed. So if somebody is going to give you exposure, you say, hey, are you willing to put me in your feed? Is that something that you care about or you're going to do, or in your stories, or like, can you please make sure to put my website? If I only get one link, like, okay, my website is where it's all supposed to fucking go. And so you have to have those conversations, and or you'll fucking clock it right away whether or not they're doing it or not. Because I'd much rather be on a smaller situation that's hungry and sharing me a lot than some big situation that is never even gonna fucking know that I'm there. Like they're like being buried at William Morris, you know what I mean? Because somebody else looks just like me and they don't want me to work. You know what I mean?
Right. How do you determine your value? Like how do you, like when someone comes at you and says, how much do you want for this?
Oh.
How do you come up with numbers?
Okay, so
I think this is something especially for not just for comedians, but I mean for all creatives. And people, it's weird. People don't talk about money. It's like, are people, because people want to seem
so ready to talk about money.
Because people want to seem successful. So it's like, if you ask them, like, and it'll be platforms. It'll be like, how do you like AVN stars? You know, and I can't rely on that person to honestly tell me how much they've made because they want to make, because they want me to think they make a lot of money in general. So maybe they'll say, oh, I make about like $2,000 a month on it. And maybe it's like 1 month that was like crazy for some other reason. They made like $1,500. They rounded up to $2,000. They have never made anything close to that again, right? But that's the number that they tell everyone that they make all the time. So even when you like ask your peers, it can be hard to know.
I feel like this is really important. So I am very transparent about this. I'm in multiple 12-step programs, and I go to a money 12-step program.
Which one?
Debtors Anonymous.
Okay.
I'm outing myself. I am not a debtor. Like, I don't create a lot of debt. I don't have a lot of debt. What I end up doing by design is under-earning, which is most artists. And most people don't ask for what they need. People also don't help artists. And they're like, can you do this for free? I want my haircut for free. I want my fucking painting for free. I want all this stuff. You do that. You do graphic design. You do websites. A trained monkey can do it. Who cares? I'll just give you $50. It's like, no. You have to figure out how much you need to make an hour to live. So this is how I did it. I have to figure out how much I need to make a month, right? Rent, bills, buying clothes, haircuts, fucking whatever I need, wife, kid, whatever. I figure out what that number is. Then I figure out how many hours a week I want to work. I do not want to work 40 hours a week. I don't. I'm not interested.
Right.
I can usually work comfortably around 20, 25 hours a week, and that's because I also do comedy where earning is very up and down. So 25 hours a week, and then I go, this is how much I need to make, right? Most people, and they've written articles about it, most people in LA need to make anywhere between $33 and $40 an hour just to fucking make it, right? So now, okay, great. So when someone says, hey, will you do this thing? And I go, how much are you offering? And they're like $12. And I'm like, I can't do it. It has to be anywhere between $33 and $40 an hour. For me, it started at $35 an hour. Then with my company, now I charge, bless you. Now I charge $150 to $200 an hour to do promotional rescue.
Okay.
So when I'm asked to perform for free at night, or if people ask me to perform, I will again think of the return on investment. Now, another return on investment is I'm just working out my bit. I have new material that isn't ready for a fucking paying audience.
Right.
It isn't ready for fucking someone. So, okay, so I'm going to do some fucking bar show where I have to fucking I just need to learn how to say the words. Is this funny? If I put the punchline there, if I put the thing there, if I start like this, if I end like that, that to me helps me build my comedy. So, okay, so if it's a bar show, there's no fucking reason anyone's making any money. It's a free show for the promoters. It's a free show for me. I'm working out my material. I can kind of do whatever I fucking want. I don't have any obligation to be fucking fierce. It's fine. I'm mostly, okay, great. Now, if a promoter comes to me and they are going to make money off the show, in a perfect world, they should be paying the comics something. A little gas money, a drink, an appetizer, a little something. Then if I'm asked to go anywhere, so when it's beyond a comedy venue, so I've been asked to host special events, charity, nonprofit, what have you. If I'm asked to be in a hall that they've rented, they are paying a caterer, they are paying for booze, they should most definitely pay me.
Right.
You need to pay me. I am the entertainment for the evening. You clearly have enough money to pay waiters. You have enough money to pay for booze. You have enough money to pay a caterer. And I'm not asking for $1 billion. Again, what's that hourly rate where it's okay, great, $40 an hour. I drive there and back. In a perfect world, I'd like to make $150 to $200.
Right. Talking about exposure. I posted this video this morning. It was from set yesterday. Where I'm explaining to Phoenix Ascani.
I watched it.
How this
about the fuck chair.
Set for your pre-market.
Where are you gonna take me?
I'm gonna take you to the fuck chair. Where I'm gonna eat your pussy, make you come, and then I'm gonna take you by the hand, lead you over to the bed, and shove your face in my ass, and then you make me come, and then we'll be done.
I don't like this pillow. It sounds good.
And it just never occurred to me that the way I direct is funny. But then a drag queen friend of mine hit me up and was like, you need to send me that video because I've been sharing with Delta Work and these other drag queens, and she wants to pull the audio to put it in a mix for a performance. So I was like, that is the day I became a real star.
Oh my God.
And I was like, here's the video, and you better send me video or tell me when they're gonna perform to the mix in which they have pulled the audio of me directing a sex scene.
Yeah.
Because I want to see this shit. That's real fame to me.
The way that I broke down doing my hourly is how you figure out your hourly. What's the amount you need to make for the month? How many hours do you want to work a week? You divide it. That is your bottom line. When people ask you to work for less, you say no. Unless you have no money coming in. Zero. And then you just need to earn. Get that money. But you don't want to be oh, okay, I'll do it for free because I'm not sure. Ask for fucking money. 9 times out of 10, people will find you the fucking money. And I can't believe I have to fucking ask. I'm just you need to pay people, pay artists, pay people for their fucking time. And here's the thing. You would never have an event without fucking booze there. But you'll certainly fucking have an event where you're not fucking paying me. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. I used to go through that with social media stuff because I used to ghostwrite people's tweets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but you did it in 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I have an advanced degree in creative writing. Yeah, I did it in a few minutes because I have an advanced degree in creative writing. I've been writing jokes on Twitter for 10 years, and I've been doing stand-up for 4. Like, that's why I can do it in 5 minutes. So what you're paying for is
getting it done right.
Like the 15 to 20 years of schooling and experience that have taught me how to do it.
And you know what? If you want somebody else to do it shitty, you can't have all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it well, doing it fast, or doing it cheap. You get 2 out of 3.
Right.
You don't get all 3. Mm-mm. You don't get fast, well, and cheap.
No. It's like dating. It's like attractive, intelligent, mentally stable. You only get 2.
I don't know. My wife is all 3. She's amazing.
I'm gloating about her miracle.
Production companies sometimes only create work in a predatory way. So like my baby daddy was on Project Runway. I got to see how much money a fucking reality TV star makes. When we shot the finale, I just assumed that they would pay for me to go to New York. They did not. Like, we had to pay to fucking get me. Meanwhile, they had been shooting in my house. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So like, for me, it's incredibly predatory. They're just totally like people, they know how desperate people are. So when I watch reality TV, I know these people are making like what, $300-400 a week, but everyone's so fucking desperate that they'll just come up with the money to fucking make it happen. They'll just quit their jobs. They'll just do what X, Y, and Z or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that's why we even started doing Make It Rain, was because we were having such a hard time making money. And then we literally, so everybody throws money on the stage. We fucking sweep up all that money. We count all those singles. It takes fucking forever.
Right.
We split that money amongst all the fucking comedians, and we fucking give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want my fucking friends to make money. I want my fucking friends to fucking make money.
And like, what I want to start normalizing is I want to normalize tipping at free shows. Like, we should just be tipping it at free shows, at free bar shows. It's so easy
to pass a fucking bucket.
Pass a fucking bucket around. The way people tip at burlesque shows, they tip at drag shows, like
stripping.
Yeah, I mean, stripping, it's more built into the whole experience of
which is why when when Cheetahs decided not to have us at their place anymore, people are like, well, you could do the show anywhere. I'm like, no, we can't. Like, I want to be in a strip club. Even the fucking venue just reeks of like, you give whoever is on stage, you give them money.
Did you think about the one that Mark suggested?
I'm looking into it.
Should we drive by there? Do you want to do that? We could do it on...
What time is it? They won't be open.
No, but we could drive by and just look.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's probably just going to be like a huge gray wall.
Yeah. So this will be great. So we went to go see our good Judy, Mark. Mm-hmm. Do his ACDC show. And then afterwards we were talking about the fact that Cheetahs, a strip club here in Los Angeles, for those of you that are not Angelinos watching, was no longer going to be doing Melanie's show, Make It Rain. It's a show where comics do a set on the mic and then they do a set on the pole, and it's hilarious. Just packed it out. There's no reason they should have not wanted it there.
It was
made
a
money,
total fucking mystery why they decided not to fucking... It's not... I mean, we got people out. Amazing exposure for them, sharing, because I'm like a fucking like, I'm posting and tagging and blah 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 blah. And it was such a great show.
I was like, I went a couple times when I wasn't even doing stand up there, which is hard to get me out of the house to like go see a show, because I usually am full of resentment. I was talking to my best friend Krista about the COVID virus, and I was like, is it petty that I'm kind of excited about the quarantine, because at least it means that comedians that are better than me can't practice for 3 weeks.
Nobody can do it.
Like, it just makes me feel better that people that are better than me can't practice for 3 weeks, and it gives me an opportunity to just like bridge that gap. But anyway, so after the show, we're backstage with Mark and explaining this, and he's like, why don't you just try Gentleman's Club out in Glendale? I was like, how did he know? Like
he was like, it's right at the end of my block. I think he drives by it a lot, because I think it's by his house. And I'm a
cusp. I was almost a Leo.
Yeah, I'm September 16th, but I'm Leo rising, so I'm Virgo with Leo rising.
So I was supposed to be a Leo, because I was also a little bit late. So I was supposed to be a Leo, because my mom's a Leo, and she's like, you were supposed to be a Leo, because she's a huge...
It's a very big...
She has the ephemera, and she does astrology, and she can do charts and stuff, and she was like, oh, I did You and your brother. I had the full, like, I may have been saturated on heroin, but I had those fucking sidereal charts and shit. Like, you know
But it's also,
before computers. Like, she was doing that shit with a calculator and a fucking ruler.
But it's also like, it's also very a Leo move to show up late. You know what I mean? So
yes.
I think it's probably just in you.
Yeah.
That Leo.
But people get on social media, they don't quite grasp the permanency of the things
Oh,
that they say.
I mean,
you know,
when I'm working with clients, you know, I tell them, I'm like, everything that you post, this is how you know you're going to be okay. You picture that tweet or that post on the cover of the New York Times. Are you okay with it? Can you fucking stand by it? Can you say, yes, that's exact. And even if it's political or people might not agree, but if you could stand on your own 2 feet and be like, yes, that is my point of view.
Yeah.
That is what I fucking believe in. That is what I'm fucking here for. Yes, I will fucking defend that tweet or that post or what have you. Then you're all good. That's your fucking opinion. It's your fucking point of view. You're allowed to fucking have it.
Oh man, I used to be like so concerned and neurotic about what people thought. And I realized there's a big change because I was being interviewed for this documentary yesterday, and the interviewer asked me, is porn art? And before, like 10 years ago, I would have had this whole fucking answer. And I just looked at her and I said, who cares?
The freedom.
Oh, growth. I think a thing that people need to understand about social media is that you don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to have an opinion about everything. You don't have to have something to say about everything. And you certainly don't owe it to anybody to explain yourself or whatever. Because I feel like people give so much of themselves away on social media.
But this goes back to our original conversation about the return on investment.
Right.
You don't have to give yourself away for fucking every single fucking person that fucking wants to work with you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking give you my shit, my time,
Yes.
my energy, my wardrobe, my whatever. Like, I'm not going to give it to you so that you can fucking benefit from it. It's about your survival. That's not selfish. That's like you fucking surviving. You can't give it all fucking away to everybody.
Yeah. How does a person figure out their brand? And what is a brand? Like, what when we say my brand, what does that mean?
Okay, so for clarity, I don't do traditional PR. I do PR consulting.
Okay.
So I feel like how I help people find their brand is that like we just narrow down into like 3 different words, whatever it is they do or who they are, like what categories you fall in. So for me, I'm a mom. I don't lean on it. I don't talk a ton about it, but I do have bits because I have some amazing fucking bits that came from my kid or experiencing my child or being a mother, right? So mom, right? I'm gay. I'm bi, I'm queer, I'm whatever. I'm all over the fucking spectrum. I'm slipping and sliding up and down a Kinsey scale. I don't know. I am married to a woman, so I have shit about that. So LGBTQ, right? Okay. I'm also a business person, right? So it's like, okay, great. I'm also sober a long time. Okay, great. So I have these like things where it's like, you can't be 1,000 different things because then you're just diluting whatever it is. So you want it to be concentrated, right? So what are the 3 or 4 things that make you intrinsically you? The things that you talk about, the things that you're interested in, the way that someone could actually put you in a category. And I don't mean to put you in a box, I mean in a category.
When we talk about branding, right? Like, what does that mean? Because I feel like there's like a lot of buzzwords that go around and things that kind of become everything. Because one friend was in the porn world was talking about like your brand is kind of like there's like a story. It's like the story of your brand, and like everything you do is sort of telling a story about your brand.
Yeah, I was
like, God damn.
You're like, what is that story? I don't know about that. I just know that as far as like the word branding, right? So for me, my brand is I'm going to talk about these specific things so that when I'm not going to start talking about like mayonnaise or cooking. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, unless I really get off on that tangent, but it just doesn't go with my other shit.
Right.
I have an audience that likes the fact that like, oh, she's sober. Oh, she's this queer lady. Oh, she's a mom. Like, my audience wants to hear certain things that I've already established that I do. If I start going all over the place, I'm diluting it, right? As far as branding goes, it means it's a visual representation of what you are in real life, right? So
Okay.
I have clearly like kind of a severe look. You know what I mean? This is my thing. I always wear fucking black. You're gonna get off on San Fernando.
Okay.
I always wear black. My colors are black, white, and red. So when you're thinking visually, what are your 3 colors? For me, it's black, white, and red, and I've got pink in there that kind of rotates in there too with the comedy special. Then, what are your fonts look like? For me, I'm all about Century Gothic. I'm all about a skinny, very clear. I'm not going to then have a Comic Sans. I'm not gonna do typewriter. You know what I mean? Like I've got a very kind of like, it all goes together. For me, it's very kind of chic and sleek. That way, this is how people fuck up their brand, is because they make imagery that is then like, this is pink and this is blue and that's got this and here's some wingdings, and it's like, oh, like what is your thing?
I've always felt that like GPS, you know, could be taking you to your destination, or it could be taking you to like the final destination.
Oh,
you know,
I've got a whole thing about like the recipe for comedy is like 5% talent, 5% promotional skills, and 90% getting home from the gig alive, right? Because you're driving in the rain, down roads you don't fucking recognize. Like getting home from the gig alive. Oh, here it is. This is it.
Oh,
The Gentleman's Club. Oh, it's totally nude, which means they don't have booze if it's totally nude.
This is not by Mark motherfucking Maron's house.